everyone, my name is Bonnie. I am a teacher at Club Pilates in West New York and Hoboken, and I am here to give you a Pilates flow class for the day. I hope you all are staying healthy, and we're here to help you stay active. So we're going to start out right away on our hands and knees. You're going to place your hands right under your shoulders, hips right over your knees. Don't forget about that detail. You always want to check in on that because that's going to be your alignment. We're going to start with a couple of cat and cows just to get the breath going and to start warming up the spine. So you're going to take a nice inhale, drop the belly button down, lift the tailbone and lift the chin up. Pull the shoulders down. On an exhale, belly button lifts up towards the spine, tuck the pelvis and drop the chin towards the chest. Inhale. Arch the back, pulling the shoulders down. Exhale. Contract the spine. 2 more. And last set. Perfect. We're going to find a nice flat back, but we're supporting it by pulling those low ribs up towards the spine as well as the belly button. Now, if you're a beginner in this or you feel like your balance isn't there, you're going to go one limb at a time for this next exercise, doing both arms and then both legs. If you're feeling pretty strong or you want to try it, we're going to take a nice inhale as we extend. I better go with the right arm and left leg out. The hips stay square. I like to flex my foot so I can feel a nice stretch behind the leg. And exhale, you slowly with control come back. You're going to go the opposite side. You're just doing opposite arm, opposite leg. It really doesn't matter which side you start with. And slowly come down. The most important part is finding that control and using your core to support yourself. Remember to keep your hips square to the mat, not letting the hips turn out. Shift your weight a little bit more forward into the palms. The tendency is to go back into the hips and into the legs, but you want to stay nice and long so the core has something to work with. We're going to go one last time. And coming back. Keep those shoulders away from the ears. Lengthen that neck. Step back so you're in a plank position. We're going to hold this plank. If you need a modified plank, find that plank position first, then come down to your knees. Make sure your hips don't go back. You want to find this nice long diagonal from the top of the head to the knees. If you can hold that plank, hold it up. Engage the glutes. We're going to take 4 nice deep breaths here. Don't sink into those shoulders, really press through the palms. Good. We're gonna come to our right side, lifting that left arm up. It really doesn't matter which side you start with. Make sure the shoulder is right over the wrist still. My top leg, I like to step it in front. You can absolutely have them stacked. If you want, you can hold this plank. This is the side plank, or you bend both knees as you reach your hands down by your hips, or your top arm down by your hip rather. Inhale, you're going to extend that top arm overhead, and then circle it down towards the hips. Just starting to fire up the body. Three more times, not letting the bottom hip sink at all. Keep it in a nice diagonal with the rest of the body. Last one. Don't forget to breathe. We're going to go through center. Let's take a nice push-up if you're feeling like it. Inhale as you drop the body down. Exhale as you push through those palms. And then reach to the other side. Reaching your hand down toward the hip. And reaching up through the top of the head. 3 more. Coming back down through center, 1 more push-up, inhale, and exhale, pushing through the palms. Bend your knees, sits back into a child's pose. If you need to take some time here, feel free to. If not, restack the spine 1 vertebrae at a time. Roll those shoulders back. Let's interlace the hands behind the back. Reach the hands down to the ground to open up the chest. If you want a nice opposite neck stretch, drop the chin towards the chest. And release those fingers. Roll the shoulders back a few times. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to sit down, extend your legs forward. Your legs are going to be about the width of the mat. You're going to sit nice and tall. If you feel like you sink into that low back at all, bend the knees slightly so you can find those sits bones. Arms are going to reach forward. Whenever we reach our arms, or whatever we do with our arms in Pilates, most likely they're going to need to be back in line with our earlobes. Don't reach or release them forward. They need to be anchored down into the back. Take a nice inhale to start. On an exhale, you're going to tuck the pelvis, start rolling down towards the mat, nice and slow on an exhale. When you get down here, inhale, reach the hands overhead, bring them out to the side. I like to bend them into a 90-degree angle, bring them up with resistance, extend them, and then on an exhale, you're going to roll all the way back up. Keep that rounded spine until you feel those sits bones at the end. And sit up nice and tall, starting from the beginning. 6 more. Now don't get messed up with any kind of arm choreography that's going on while we get down there. Just moving the shoulders in the socket a little bit is what feels nice to me. So I like to reach them overhead, bring them out to the side, using my chest and warming up my chest to bring it forward. Then I extend it as I slowly roll up, just so I use less momentum to get up. Sitting up nice and tall. Good, we've got 3 more. You want to test yourself. Even though you feel like you might want momentum to do it here, try not to. Just breathe and see how far you can get up on your own. Go a little bit further than you think you can. And then if you need to use momentum, start from there. If not, you might surprise yourself. So again, if you feel like you're using momentum, start with just using your core. If you could only get up this far, place your hands down, slowly continue the movement. Good, let's do 1 more bonus one. To be honest, I lost track. And sitting up nice and tall, fantastic. So we're going to open up our legs a little bit wider. Arms are going to be out to the side. Now the arms are going to be attached to the chest, so don't move them isolated from the chest. We're going to rotate in the spine. Don't think of rotating using the arms, but it's just in that torso that we're concentrating on. So again, if you're sinking into the low back, slightly bend your knees. You're going to take a nice inhale to prepare, pull those shoulders down. On an exhale, you're going to rotate towards the left leg or right leg, it doesn't matter again. Staying nice and anchored in both hips. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, you're going to rotate to the other side. Inhale, coming back through center. Notice that my head isn't rotating at all. I'm just keeping it in my mid and low spine. My nose is staying in line with my sternum. So we're going to start With our legs, the next movement is going to be our legs that are a little bit wider than mat width distance apart. You're going to sit up nice and tall right on top of those sits bones. Arms are going to reach out to your side. Your nose is going to stay in line with your sternum, which is right in the middle of your chest. So you're going to exhale, rotate against one leg. Now both my sits bones stay nice and anchored. I inhale as I go through center, and exhale, rotate towards the other side. Inhale, coming through center. Now notice my arms are not reaching further than my chest can reach. I'm not reaching my arms all the way. I'm keeping them attached to my chest and my upper back. Last one on each side. Allow for time for the body to warm up. And then you're able to use it even more and even deeper. So this time I'm going to continue to rotate towards that first side. I'm taking my pinky, I'm reaching it towards that opposite foot. Now, notice your back hip wants to pick up. Don't let it pick up. Keep it anchored down. Slowly restack the spine as you come back up. Inhale, coming through center. Exhale, rotating. Inhale, reach for that opposite foot. Exhale, restack the spine. Rotating through center with a nice inhale, and exhale as you continue to rotate towards the other side. Inhale, you're going to reach towards the opposite foot. Exhale, restack the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, come through center, 3 more times. Last time on each side, you might feel those shoulders burning. Just keep those shoulders pulled down. I like to always say, keep them plugged into the upper back. And coming through center, relax. Roll the shoulders back again. All right. We're going to continue to hit everything. You're going to sit back right behind your sits bone. Now your pelvis is not tucked in this position. Your spine is reached nice and tall, but you are hinged back. You're going to bring your legs into a nice tabletop position. You just want the top of the legs ideally to be parallel to the ceiling or the floor. Of course, you are where you're at. That's just the goal that you're reaching for. So you're going to reach those arms forward. Another option, place the hands down by your hips. That helps stabilize you a little bit more. Find where you can go. Find what works for you. And then you're going to inhale, hinge back as you extend the legs forward. Exhale, pull them in. This doesn't feel great? Good. Hold here or hold here. If you want to continue, find some different challenges. Inhale, hinge back. Exhale, pull the knees in towards the chest. Inhale, hinge back. 8, 7, 6, 5, don't forget to breathe. 4, find where that tension is growing. 3, try to relax it. 2, and 1. Coming in and relax. You might have felt that in either the thighs or in the hip flexors. That's okay. We work on turning that off. Again, it's kind of like a practice. It's not something that I can tell you how to do overnight. You just kind of work with your body and you find what works for you. Good, so we are gonna find that same position again. Reach those arms forward. Again, if you prefer to be here, you can keep your hand down on the floor. We're gonna rotate open with the spine and close. Inhale, open and close. If your hands are down here, you're just reaching open, squaring off the shoulders. Reaching open, squaring off the shoulders. Good. 5 and 4, 3, 2. We're going to do a bonus one because we started on that side to even out. And relax. Fantastic. So you're going to start lying down. Take a nice deep breath. Let your body sink into that mat. Let's go one more time. Take a nice inhale. A nice full inhale through the nose, and as you exhale, just feel your bones relax into your mat or your carpet. Your feet are going to be about, let's start with hip width distance apart. The more narrow you bring the feet, a little bit more challenging it is. Relax your shoulders down. Don't forget, we're still warming up. I like to start my back in a nice neutral spine. So how I like to cue that is you want to tip your pelvis forward. All right, so now it feels like you're arching your back. Then you're going to pull these low ribs down towards the spine without changing your pelvis. Now you're left with a small space in the low of your back. That's your neutral spine. Hands can be palms down or palms up, just to keep the shoulders relaxed. We're going to take a nice inhale to start. On an exhale, I'm going to tuck the pelvis. Bring my hand out to the side so you can see. I tuck the pelvis, imprinting the entire spine into the mat, and then I slowly peel the spine off by lifting the hips and pressing my feet into that mat. So my hands are down by my side. Take a nice inhale at the top and exhale, keeping the hips up there. Engage the glutes. Make sure the hips aren't relaxed here. See if you can get a little bit higher by engaging the glutes. Make sure the knees are not opening to the side, but they're staying in line with each other. Take a nice inhale, relax the shoulders, and slowly on your exhale, roll down one vertebrae at a time. At the very bottom, relax the glutes, and you're going to feel your pelvis tip forward, finding that neutral again. Take a nice inhale. On an exhale, tuck the pelvis and slowly peel up. Pressing into the full surface of your foot, not just the heels, not just the balls of the feet, or the outsides or the insides. Make sure you're pressing evenly into the entire foot. Take a nice inhale at the top and exhale, slowly roll down, one vertebrae at a time. Good. Take a nice inhale. We're going to go back up this time. Good. Low ribs, stay down. Try not to reach your chest up. It's just all in the glutes. You're going to inhale, release the hips halfway like you're about to sit in a chair. Exhale, send the hips back up. Inhale, release. Exhale, reach. 8. And 7. And 6. Hold it up there for a moment. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one. Take a nice inhale. Check in on those shoulders. Make sure they're relaxed. And exhale, slowly roll down. And release. Now I am going to bring my feet together, knees together if you hadn't had them there already. So now we're in a more narrow position. If you need to, you can open up slightly, just about an inch or two. For more of a challenge, come all the way together. Take a nice inhale. On an exhale, slowly peel off. Keeping the knees together, the inner thighs are going to be squeezing together as well. We're going to reach the right leg up. I'm going to flex the foot as I reach it down towards the floor, keeping those hips high. Point the foot as I reach it back up towards the ceiling. Flex the foot, reach it down. Point the toes, reach it up. Now, if this is too advanced for you, feel free to stay in that bridge position. We're just doing 3 on each side just to get some movement in our legs. Between each set, squeeze the knees together to reestablish that stability. Extend the left leg up. Flex the foot as you reach the heel down. Point the toes as it comes back up. Flex, reach down, point up. Last one. Good. Reestablish that stability. Squeeze the knees together. Take a nice inhale. On an exhale, slowly roll down. And release. Good. We're going to go one more time. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, tuck the pelvis and slowly peel off. Think of reaching those knees forward so you're really lengthening out of the top of the thighs. Good. We're going to reach that right leg up again. You're going to lower the hips halfway down and send them back up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, back up. Again, you can do this with both feet on the mat. 2 more. Or 1. Good. Place that foot down, squeeze the knees together again. Extend that left leg up towards the ceiling. You're gonna relax down and reach. Release down and reach. 4 more. 2 and 1. Bring that leg down, squeeze the knees together, take a nice inhale at the top, exhale, slowly roll down 1 vertebrae at a time and release. Good. So you're gonna bring the knees into the chest and we're gonna roll like a ball. So how you roll like a ball, you keep your spine nice and rounded the entire time. You're trying to make your way up into a seated position. You wanna find a perfect balanced spot without extending the spine. I like to push my shins against my hands to add some resistance. Keep a nice hollowed part. Now if you feel like you fall forward, that's not your balanced place. You want to keep your feet off of the mat. You do not want to extend through the spine. You want to keep a nice rounded spine. It may take some reaching the knees back to find that momentum. That's going to bring you up, hollowing out the body. Two more. You may find that you almost make it and you rock right back. That's fine. And release. I like to challenge myself. Don't change the hips as you do this. Don't tip the pelvis forward. If you notice you do that, you want to try to keep the tucked spine as you're finding that balance. All right, now that we're up in this position, we're going to lie back down on our sides. So while you're on your sides, different ways to place your body. You can have your forearm down and have a nice diagonal this way, as long as you keep these low ribs lifted up. You don't want them relaxed down. You don't want to sink into that shoulder. Another option is to lie all the way down on your side, extending your arm above your ear. Just make sure that shoulder is pulled down. You can also bend your arm underneath of you. Totally up to you. All positions are fine. Just make sure you're pulling those low ribs back. Even as you're down here, you want to lift the low ribs up, or the side ribs up, so you have a small space right underneath of you. You're using the side obliques to stabilize you. I'm going to stay up just because it's easier to talk. So shoulder right over elbow, reaching the hips nice and long. I'm going to bend the knees. They're not right in front of me. It's not like a tabletop position. They're a little bit further away, so I'm opened in the front of the hip crease. Shoulders are pulled down. Hand can be either on the hip or lying in front of you. You're going to open the knee like a clamshell, keeping the feet attached and lower down. Open and close. Now, one thing you want to concentrate on the entire time, the whole point of this is stabilizing the hips. They have to stay stacked the entire time. You're not opening up and rocking back and coming back. You're keeping the hips stacked, and then you're seeing how far you can rotate the leg, keeping the hips stacked. 5, 4, 3. You can keep the reps lower. You don't have to go as many reps. And 1. If this, you notice it starts to burn. So we're going to keep the knees attached this time. We're going to lift the foot up so we get internal rotation and relax. Up and relax. Again, keep the shoulders down. I have to remind myself. Anything I cue is things that I'm actually just reminding myself. So 5, 4, finding the movement and the mobility we have in our hips. 2 and 1. Perfect. So now I'm lifting my knee and my foot and lowering back down, as if I had a tray of hot coffee stacked right on the side of my knee and my ankle bone. You want to make sure they stay nice and parallel. You don't need to open up to get a higher lift out of your leg. Reach the top of the head. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. So I'm going to lift the knee and foot to hip level. Send it back like you're making a footprint on the wall behind you. You should feel that glute turn on. You're going to lift your leg and knee, or your foot and knee, rather, up a couple of inches, bring it forward, and lower back down to hip level. Send it back, lift it up, bring it forward. lower back down. Now watch these low ribs. Make sure you're not arching your back as you bring that foot back, but keep that neutral spine in place. You'll notice that we're drawing a square. If you've got this down and your hips aren't moving, you can start to round out in circular, make circular motions. Last two. And last one. Guess what? We're going to reverse. So lift it up, then send it back, lower down a hip level and bring it forward. Again, once you start to get the hang of it and you notice that your hips are staying stacked, then you can make this a more circular flow movement. Last three. And two. And one. Good. I'm going to extend the leg. I'm going to lift and lower above and below hip level. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you want, you can relax there, or if you want to find some more challenging moves to continue to burn out the hips and the leg, I'm going to flex my foot as I pulse it forward twice, point my foot as I send it behind my hips just slightly, enough where my hips or my glutes engage, but my hips do not go out of alignment. Flex the foot, pulse it twice forward, pulling that top hip back, point the toe as I pull my foot back and pulse it twice. 4, nice long leg. 3, reaching through the heel, then reaching through the toe. 2, and last one. All right, last thing that I like to call it the dolphin. So I turn my leg out in that clamshell. I lift it up, then I turn it in, and my foot is lifted as the knee reaches back down towards the other knee. So I turn the leg out, lift it up, turn it in, lower down. Turn it out, lift up, turn it in, lower down. 2 more. It just reestablishes that mobility. Last one. And release. You can punch that hip out if you need to. And we're going to go to the other side. Find what works for you. If you need to, go ahead and pause this. Take a breather before we work the other side. If not, we're going to go right on. So I'm going to lift that knee open like a clamshell, lower it down. Again, make sure you're doing this. You're not getting too excited that you're not noticing if your hips are stacked or not. That is the whole purpose and the important part of this exercise. Last 3. Good. You're going to lift your foot up, keeping the knees connected, and lower down. And lift and lower. Keeping those low obliques lifted, the ones that are against the mat. Last 2. And last 1. Good. I'm lifting my knee and my foot, keeping it nice and parallel, and lower. And lift and lower. If you feel like you're crunching in this top part, even if you're lying down, it may happen. Lift those lower obliques even more. 3, 2, 1. Keep it at hip level. I'm going to flex my foot, sends the leg back. You're not straightening it. You keep it bent, then you're going to lift it up a couple inches, bring it forward and lower. Send it back, engage the glute, lift it up, forward and lower. Start making a circular motion. Check in where you feel tension. Try to relax and release it. Last 2. Last 1. Reverse. Keep breathing. Don't forget to, even when it gets challenging, see how far you can push yourself. Remember, there is such thing as good pain. There's such thing as bad pain, so also pay attention to your body. 2. And 1. Good. I'm going to straighten out that leg. Again, you can stop there if you want. flex the foot and you're going to lift and lower above and below hip level. 3, 2, 1. Good. Flex the foot. You're going to pulse it forward twice, pulling that top hip back so it doesn't slip forward. Then point the toes and pulse it back just behind the hips, just enough to get that glute to turn on. Flex it forward and point, sending it back. Getting some nice length, reaching through that heel, reaching through the toes. We've got one more. Good. Bend that knee back in. You're going to turn that leg out, lift the knee, turn it in, let the foot be higher than the knee, bring it back down. Lift and lower. Good. Turn out, turn in. 3, and 2, and last one. And relax again. You can punch out that hip if that feels nice. Or if you want, we're going to stretch that out right away. So one option, legs are crossed, crisscross. Or stack the ankle on top of the opposite knee. Or you can also stack the knees on top of each other. So that was from one place all the way up to the next. This is a more advanced, if you are, or if your hips allow you to go into this position. I like to pull my feet back towards me and then plant my hands on the ground so I know they can't come forward anymore. And then you reach forward. Keep both hips on the ground. If you can, relax your chest over your legs. That's more than welcome to. After this exercise, it tends to feel more limiting than you think. And then you restack the spine. We're going to switch legs that are on top or just switch the cross. And then if it doesn't feel deep enough, you just lean forward over the legs. And coming back up, relax. Perfect. So once you're all stretched out with those hips, we're going to go into some extension work. So go ahead and lie down on your stomach. You're going to bend your elbows out to the side, stack your hands on top of each other, and your forehead will relax on the top of your hands. Now you're going to tuck your pelvis under, pushing that pubic bone in towards the mat. Belly button and low ribs are going to pull up. You're going to try to keep your feet down on the mat as you do this, so you're just using your upper body. Keep that alignment and keep that engagement as we do all of this movement. So, either on an inhale or an exhale, totally up to you, you're going to lift the hands, arms, and chest off. My head doesn't look up. My forehead stays relaxed onto the back of my hands, and I slowly lower down. And I go back up and slowly lower down. Reach up. If this doesn't feel good for you, bend your elbows out to the side and press your palms lightly into the mat. And slowly come back down. Slowly lifting up. Don't feel it in the arms. If you're feeling it in the arms, you're using your arms a little bit too much, but feel free to stabilize yourself to reach the shoulders down and lower back down. We're going to do 3 more. And relax. Now you're going to feel this in the back. This is a back exercise. You should not feel it in the low back. If you do, really tuck that pelvis under even more. It's almost feeling like you're trying to flatten out the spine from the hips. Good. So now we're going to reach our arms out, pull the shoulders back. We're going to go into some swimmers. So you're going to take a nice inhale. Again, the head is down towards the mat. On an exhale, you're going to lift the arms and chest and the legs up. You're going to reach up with the opposite arm, opposite leg, and we're going to switch, switch, switch. Five, four, three, two, one. Relax down. Take a nice inhale. We're going to go up again. I like to exhale as I go up, hovering above the ground. Again, opposite arm, opposite leg reaches a little bit higher, and you switch, switch, switch. Keep an even beat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax down. Good. If you're not burning yet, I am, but I'm going to go with you. If you want to do another set, let's take it there. Let's take it to that level. So pull the shoulder blades down. Keep the pelvis tucked. Don't get excited and reach up as high as you can. Really keep that alignment alive. Reach up. And we're going to go a little bit faster. Five, four, three, two, one. Relax. Good. You can sit your hips back towards your heels. Find that child's pose again. Slowly restack the spine. Roll your shoulders back. All right, we're going to find that plank position again. Now, this does have to be done on your feet. If you are on your knees, you can hold it here, or you can reach back to that child's pose. Find that modified plank. Reach back to the child's pose. Find that modified plank. You can wait until we all get started. So you're going to find that plank position. Pull your shoulder blades down, push in through the palms. You're not hollowing out that upper back, but you are activating it. Then you're going to pike your hips up. Find a downward dog stretch. And reach forward to find that plank. Don't set those hips and relax those hips down. Keep them in that plank position. Then you're going to pike the hips back up. And reach forward to find that plank. We're going to go 2 more times. Again, you can be going into your child's pose. If you're finding that modified plank is more helpful today, feel free. Good. So now we're going to go into that pike position. We're going to hold it here. I'm going to reach my left foot up. I can open my hips for this one. Can't see it, but you reach it up as high as you can. Feel that glute turn on to stabilize it. Then as I come forward for my plank, I tap that toe down. I pike it back up into an arabesque as I go back into that down dog. Tap it down and coming back up. Now, if you're doing that modified position, you're just going to continue that motion. And you find that plank. Come back down. Find that downward dog. Keep that leg down. Now I'm going to lift my right leg up. And as I hinge forward into that plank, I lower it down. And I pick it back up. Forward and lower. Pike the hips and pick it back up. Last 2. And last one. Good. Go ahead and send your hips up. Feel that stretch. Reach the heels down towards the mat. Walk your hands back towards your feet, softening your knees, relaxing the back of the neck. Slowly restack the spine on an exhale, rolling up nice and slow. You're going to miss me out of shot, but head comes up last. Roll the shoulders back twice. And I'm going to come back down. Awesome. So we're back. We're going to do some standing work, working with the stability and the balance that we've been building up on the mat. So one of my personal favorite exercises, this is going to be a lot of balance work. If you've taken my class, sometimes I've shown this. So we are going to start with our hands reaching down by our side. My left foot is going to be the first foot to come up. It could be your right. That's fine. So as you tip forward, you're going to think of a pole from the top of your head all the way down to the foot that's also tipping up. So, as my torso hinges forward, my foot is starting to come up. Now as my torso comes down, my foot goes up that same height. It is not going up higher than my torso, and my torso is not dropping lower than my foot. So let's start from the beginning. Take a nice inhale, and exhale. You're going to hinge forward, keeping those hips square. Do not open up the hip of the leg that's going up. You can soften this bottom leg if you want. Just find this position, engage the glute, and with control, slowly hinge all the way back the same way. If you want to test that balance, keep that leg lifted, lift that leg up to tabletop, and you're going to reach it down and go back into it. Otherwise, you can place that foot down on the mat. Good. And coming back up. Now this next time, we are going to stay down. We are going to hold that position. There's different options here. Now you can hold this position, or you're going to bend that right leg even more as you reach the arms above the head, and as you extend, you reach those hands back towards your hips. Bend, reach the arms overhead. Whoop. Extend, reach the hands back down your hips. If you can, 2 more times here. Find something to concentrate on with your eyes as you're bending and extending to keep that balance. Now this is an advanced movement, so if you don't have the balance for it, feel free to get to a countertop and try this movement. Good, you can shake that out. We're gonna go to the other side. So, tip forward, reaching that heel back. Again, soften this left knee or the leg that's on the mat. You can keep that knee softened. That always feels nice. It feels like you're anchoring your weight down somewhere. If you can't get your body parallel to the ground, don't feel discouraged. Just go as far as you can, as far as your flexibility will allow you to. Concentrate mostly on sending that heel back and the top of the head forward. Now that we're here, we're going to bend that left leg as you reach overhead and extend. Bring those hands back by your hip. 3 more. Last 2. And last 1. Come up with control. Fight for it, fight for it, fight for it, and relax. Good, shake it out. So before we go into any stretches, at the end, we're going to finish up with some core variations. So go ahead and lie down on your back. Now I'm going to bring my legs up into tabletop. Keep a neutral spine. If this doesn't feel great, go ahead and imprint the spine. But if you can't keep a neutral spine, relax the shoulders. Inhale, you're going to hinge the right leg, bringing the toes down to the mat. Exhale, slowly pulling it up. Inhale, hinge that left leg down. Exhale, slowly pull it up. You're going to continue. If you do not like the way this feels on your low back at all, don't hinge your leg all the way down. If that feels great, good. Go there and then bring it back up. There's no need to actually touch the toes down towards the mat, especially if it makes your low back feel uncomfortable at all. Keep the low ribs pulled back towards the spine to feel nice and anchored. You shouldn't notice your spine doing anything at this point. Four more. This is not a fast movement. It's nice and controlled. Last one. And relax. Good. You can either hug the knees into the chest or we can continue on. Take a nice inhale to prepare. On an exhale, curl the chin towards the chest. I'm placing my right hand on my inside of my left knee and my left hand on the outside of the left leg. I extend the right leg out. Then I'm going to switch and switch. This can be done with your head relaxed down on the mat. If you feel a lot of tension in the neck, this is a great option. Bringing the chest up towards that knee as it comes in is also going to increase the effectiveness of this exercise. Good. Keep breathing. Don't forget to breathe. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax the head, back it down. Good. Take a nice inhale. You can keep the head down on this next one, or you can curl the chin towards the chest again for an extra bonus. And then you're going to press your palms against the knees. You're going to feel that core turn on right away. I'm starting to shake already. 5 more seconds. We're going to go straight into the next exercise. Now you can break between if you'd like. We're going to inhale, extend the legs out to 45. The hands extend out by the ears. Exhale, you circle the arms around, either grabbing behind the knees or for an extra challenge, continue to push the palms against the thighs. Inhale, extend. Exhale, circling around. 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax down. Good. You can shake your head side to side. One last movement. You're going to extend the legs up towards the ceiling. Palms can be down or they can be up. Just keep the shoulders relaxed. As we do this, you're just going to lift the hips just an inch or two. It's nothing dramatic. You're trying to poke the ceiling with your toes without bringing your legs back. So you're just trying to go straight up. Again, trying to take as much momentum out of this as possible. It may seem impossible. Every time I try this, it does take a couple tries to keep the momentum out of it and just contract the core to lift the hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With this done, you're going to curl the chin towards the chest. Grab the right leg. Keep it extended. That left leg extends down by the mat. And you're going to switch. Pulse twice in towards you and switch. Pulse, 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 pulse. Getting a nice stretch behind the leg as you continue to work that core. Try to burn it out. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Good. Let's do a couple of cool down exercises. I'm going to uncross my legs. I'm trying to lay them both flat on the ground. If you prefer them crossed, you can. I just like my hips to feel nice and even. I'm going to drop my chin towards my chest. I'm going to reach my right ear over to the right shoulder. And I'm going to circle back forward, reaching the left ear towards the left shoulder. And circle back forward. Good, one more time. And coming back down through center and reaching back up. I'm going to place my right hand behind me in the center of my back. I take my left hand, I place it on my right elbow, I pull it down, and then I lift my chest up, getting a nice stretch in my right side. You can side bend over to the left to reach that right elbow, or armpit rather, up towards the ceiling. Come back center, let your arms drop, shake them out in the shoulders, and then you're going to switch sides. Left arm pats you in the center of the back, right hand pulls that elbow down, lift the chest, and then you can bend over to the right side to reach that armpit up towards the ceiling. Good. Sitting up, roll the shoulders back a few times. And then one stretch that I personally prefer, or personally love, is, I like to say, the cheerleading stance. So I'm facing you. Don't think of this in terms of my mat, but I'm going to face you. I've got my right shin parallel forward. My left shin, if you had the shoulder rest by your side, if you're thinking that you're on a reformer, that's where your shin's going to be at. So as you're sitting in this, you might feel, because my left leg is here out to the side, that my left sits bone is picking up. I'm trying to relax that hip down. It almost slides back a little bit to try to get that sits bone down. Then I bring that hip forward, trying to reach my hips forward. Then I relax it back, and then I reach it forward. If this doesn't bother your knee, this is a great hip opener and mobilizing stretch and exercise. This is great for the mornings, just to open up the hips when you wake up. Last two. Take your time with it. And last one. Good. Again, if that bothers your knees at all, nix it. No need to do it. Not worth it. Now my left shin is parallel forward. My right shin is parallel to the side. I relax that right hip down. It may not get all the way down, and that's fine. Then I send it forward, and that sits bones pick up. I relax it down as it slides back, and then I reach it forward. Three, and two, and last one. And relax. Great. So that was your mat flow class for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Keep moving, keep enjoying yourself, even though we're all inside. We're all here together, so I hope you enjoy the classes that we are going to add. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us here at the studio, and we're here to provide whatever we can for you. So thank you so much, and stay healthy.